Hi, second graders. It's time for writing again. Well, yesterday was a pretty easy day in our writing process in that we didn't really do much writing, but that is a step, a critical step actually, in doing informational writing because when in informational writing, we have to gather our information. We need to watch videos and do research, go on the internet, talk to educated people about the subject. And that's what we did yesterday. So today I'm going to just show you a couple of note-taking techniques of how to jot down information while you're watching a video so that way we can just jot down some critical information and then we can use that information to write our informational paragraph. And the reason we want to try to do this note taking is it actually makes our life a lot easier. And then when we try to do our writing, and we have the information right in front of us, already organized, and we're ready to go. So here are my steps in note taking. So we are researching or taking notes. When you do this, you're going to want to use abbreviations. So you don't want to write whole words. If you know what the word is, you might want to do just little parts of a word. Because when you're watching a video, you don't want to have to stop it and write complete sentences and rewrite everything they wrote. You're just taking little notes for yourself. All it is writing things down so you'll remember the information later when you do your actual writing. Then you want to use little bullet points. We're not writing our paragraph now, we're just bulleting important information. So you want to organize it in a way that you can go back and easily find your information. No complete sentences are necessary. Yay! This is a time your teachers are always saying, write in a complete sentence, capitals and periods. Guess what? This time I'm saying you don't have to. When you're taking notes, you don't want to take that time to write out complete sentences with having a subject and a predicate. We'll get to that later. You just want to take notes. You're going to write key facts, dates, and names. So anything that stands out that you say, that sounds important, or they repeat over again, you might want to jot down. And then use headings to organize your information. So we already said, so our topic is going to be on matter. We've been studying a lot about matter, and we all know there are 3 states. And what are those 3 states of matter? You said it right. It's solids, liquids, and gases. So that's our topic. So what I like to do is if I'm going to take notes, I set it out that I have a chart so that I already organized my 3 what they're called subtopics or supporting topics to the main topic. Our main topic is going to be matter, so I'll write that here. But our subtopics are going to be solids, liquids, and gases. I organized it this way so that while I'm watching my videos and finding information, I'm going to organize my information. Anything I find on solids, I'll put here. Anything I find on gases, I'll put here. And of course, anything I find on liquids, I'll put here. So, are you ready to start the note-taking process? Let's go. So I'm going to start the video. When I find a spot that I want to take a note on, I'm going to pause and write the note on my chart. Here we go.
You may not think about it a lot, but everything in the world, including you, takes up space. The food you love to eat, the drinks you grab to quench your thirst when you come in from playing outside, the desk you sit at in your room, the pet you love, the bed you sleep in, and even the air you breathe. All of it takes up space. Of course, it doesn't all look the same and feel the same, smell the same, or even behave the same. And some stuff that takes up space, like the air you breathe, you can't see or touch at all. We have a word to describe all the stuff in the world that takes up space. Matter. Matter is all around us, whether you can see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, or not. And that's what today's lesson's all about.
I'm going to pause it there. That sounds important. I'm going to write that down on my chart. I paused the video because they had a definition in there. And we had said when we're doing our research that definitions are a lot of times very important. So considering our whole topic is on matter, I figured I'd pause it and write down the definition of matter. I wrote down matter, all the stuff in the world that takes up space. It's everything around you. That's the only note I'm going to take now, and now I'm just going to play the video again. I want you to know that Mrs. Cluin is showing you how to take notes, so I'd love for you to give it a try and write some things down as I do, but I understand in second grade it's a lot of writing, so if you want to just take a couple of the notes, that's perfectly fine today as well, because I'm going to share all my notes with you all so that when we do our informational writing, you get to use my notes along with your notes. So, and also when you're watching a video, Mrs. Cluin is giving you her ideas of what she feels important. If you hear other things you'd like to include or like to write down in your note, in your diagram, then feel free, because you guys are, I know, just awesome researchers and probably will hear different things that you find important, like that you would like to include. So just try a little bit of note taking today, but definitely don't get bogged down on spending hours writing what Mrs. Cluin writes, because I'll provide this again in the end. Okay, let's watch some more.
Okay, so think about it. How many different ways can matter exist? Some matter you can hold in your hand, like a ball or a book. Some matter you can feel but you can't really hold on to, like water or soda. And some matter, like air or helium in a balloon, you can't see or feel or touch at all. So there are 3 different states of matter: solids, liquids, and gases. And it's pretty easy to tell them apart. I mean, you can't drink a solid, right? And you can't hold on to a liquid. And a gas, they're all around you. But you wouldn't even know it because you can't see them. You might be tempted to think that gases aren't as important as solids or liquids. But without gases, none of us would even exist. Do me a solid and think about the chair or couch you're sitting on right now. What's it like? Does it have a definite shape? Is it soft, hard, a little of both? Can you pick it up? Does it make a sound if you tap on it? What about the computer or device you're watching this video on? Or the bread you ate last time you had a sandwich? Solids are things you can pick up, hold, and feel the shape of. Solids always have a shape. They can be hard, smooth, rough, or soft. They come in all different sizes, from as small as a marble to as big as a mountain. And you can hold them in your hands if they'll fit.
I paused the video there because we just listened to a little bit of information regarding solids. So I thought that would be important, because I have solids, liquids, and gases on my chart, that I should take some notes on solids. I wrote down that they have definite shapes. Notice I didn't use complete sentences. I said they are things that you can pick up, hold, or feel the shape of. And I said that they can have properties like hard, soft, rigid, or round. So that's what I heard when they talked about solids. And I have 1, 2, 3 points, which is pretty good as far as when I'm going back and writing a paragraph, I'll probably want at least 3 bullet points for each of these subtopics. So now we can continue taking more notes and see what's next.
Talk about liquids. The most common liquid is water, but there are a lot of other liquids all around you. Ever had a bad cough and been given cough syrup? That's a liquid. So is vinegar, vegetable oil, chocolate syrup, and the cleaning fluids your parents might use to tidy up the house. The gasoline your parents put in their car or lawnmower? Yep, that's a liquid. So is the sweat that comes out of your body when you run around a lot. Of course, a lot of the liquids we just mentioned are partially water, but they're still liquids. So, can you tell me what all liquids have in common? First, they will always fill the bottom of a container if you pour them in, and they'll take the shape of that container as you continue to pour. They usually have a smooth surface. They can be really hot or cold or somewhere in between, and they don't have a specific size. A liquid like water can fill an entire ocean or the smallest crack in the sidewalk. Okay, now let's talk about gases.
Okay, so I paused the video there because they gave some really good information about liquids, which is our second subtopic. Our first subtopic is solids. Our second subtopic is liquids. So this is what I heard and thought was important, and I wrote down. So I made a bullet point that they always fill bottom of the container when poured in. It seemed very important. They take the shape of the container when poured, which was it. I wrote that down because that was exactly opposite of solids, where solids actually had a definite shape and liquids takes the shape of its container. I wrote down that usually they have a smooth surface, so I could remember kind of like water, the smooth surface. I wrote down that they can be hot or cold or any temperature. I also wrote down they don't have a specific size, in that the ocean is huge, filled with liquid, and that a raindrop is really small. So liquids come in all sizes. So again, I thought this was the important information. Do what you can. Don't get stressed or upset if you're not writing everything down Mrs. Cluin is writing down. I'm just showing you the process of taking notes. Okay, let's go on to our next topic. What do you think this next one's going to be? I'm thinking gases. Let's listen.
Now, let's talk about gases. Gases are some of the most interesting of all types of matter because they're all around you, but you can't see them. A gas is invisible, has no shape or size, can fill any size container, and has no surface and moves around easily. Oxygen is a gas that makes up part of the air around you that you breathe in. Other gases in the air are nitrogen and argon, not to mention CO2 or carbon dioxide, which is a gas that you breathe out. Carbon dioxide gas gets absorbed by the trees around us. Other gases you might be familiar with are helium and propane. Helium is used to fill balloons, and since it's lighter than air, a helium-filled balloon floats upward. If you've ever seen your parents cooking barbecue on a gas grill, the gas they're using is propane. It kind of goes without saying, but certain matter is easier to go through than other matter. You can swim in a liquid more easily than in a solid. Ever tried swimming in a ball pit? And you can run through a gas like air much more easily than you can run through a liquid or a solid. Here's where the subject of states of matter gets even more interesting.
I just paused the video another time because we just heard some really good information about gases. What I included here on my note-taking chart is that gases are all around you, but you usually don't see them. I put that because sometimes there's colored gases and you can kind of see them. Gases have no shape or size. So gas, you think of when you actually let it out into a room, it spreads out. And so it cannot be contained. It just keeps spreading to the size of the area it's in. So it doesn't have a specific shape. It spreads out and moves around really easily. And then I put lastly that common gases are oxygen and helium, because we know the air we breathe is a gas, and also helium in balloons is a gas as well. Okay guys, I think you're probably a little tired with all this note taking, and I'm thinking it's a good place for us to stop for today. We took a lot of notes. We took notes on our main topic of matter, and then we took notes on our 3 subtopics of solids, liquids, and gases. So far, I'm thinking we have a really good start for an informational paragraph. We are going to put all this together and we're going to do some awesome writing. So if you took a few notes, you can take a picture of it and send it to your teacher just to review. Know that in Seesaw, I put my whole chart for notes. So you're going to get to use that when we do our informational writing. So you don't need to write everything that Mrs. Cluin wrote, but just give it a shot for taking a few notes. If you're really, really gung-ho, you can always look up other videos, you can read other books, and you can take more notes on solids, liquids, and gases and find more information that you would use during your informational writing next week. So thanks a lot for hanging in there with me today. Happy Friday, and I'll see you next week. Bye.